episode 12 of the Clock Enders podcast. Got life of the party. We have Everyone Hates Nick. We are still shocked and pissed off about the result off of from Saturday in the Brentford game. And I'm going to close off that whole saga by playing a clip from our manager, pretty much summing up how every Arsenal fan feels about what happened on Saturday. Here we go.
After analyzing all the evidence that we had on the images with a huge anger and disappointment, because that wasn't a human error, that was a big not conceiving and understanding their job, and that's not acceptable. And that cost Arsenal 2 points, and that's not going to be restored. So we're going to have to find those 2 points somewhere else in the league. I will be only satisfied if they give me the 2 points back, which is not going to be the case. It doesn't take the fact that do we have 2 less points that we should have on the table. I think, listen, everybody makes errors and mistakes, and we are part of that. Me, the first one for sure in our job, but that was something else, and that's what I wasn't having it. The club wasn't having it, and I think it's clear the consequences of what happened.
So it's summed up perfectly there, I think.
Yeah, you did a garbage job because you're a garbage ref, a garbage human. You've done this to us before.
I think he was saying a little bit more than it's more than you made a mistake. It looks like it was done intentionally.
Right. I think he was intimating that, or he's doing his job so badly that he shouldn't be able to do it again. And I mean, he's been fired before. You know what I mean? So what? Now a break is what's appropriate when he's done this to us before this season.
Yeah.
Shambolic, as they say.
Indeed. I know.
I'd be saying a lot more right now, but my stupid cat is on some shit.
I know you probably have the same thoughts as us, Nick. Anything to add before we move on from the Brentford debacle? I'll call it.
You know what? Yeah, it was pretty bad what happened, and I hate to call for somebody's job. Because, jobs are tough to come by. But, I mean, in any other industry, I mean, if you're doing that, you're just going to find yourself being unemployed, But I think that there's no level of accountability when it comes to the officials in the Premier League. I think they could do something more, like maybe send them down a division. Do something. And the ones that are really good in the lower division should get an opportunity to come up and work here for a bit. And I think that's a way of sort of trying to keep them accountable. Or you're just going to continue to have stuff like this happen, and then next thing you know, the Premier League is going to have their version of who from the NBA. Somebody's going to be betting on games.
If you don't think that's happening already, then.
Yeah,
they're doing that already. I called on Twitter for the FA to start checking referees' bank accounts because
I caught that.
Everybody can't be incompetent. They can't. Not every single person. 1 or 2, I get it, but not every single one of them. And every single one of these refs are terrible, and I don't understand it. But again,
twice in one season by replay official and technology. Twice. The first time it wasn't even whistled on the field.
Right.
First time it wasn't even whistled on the field.
Yeah. It's just I don't understand how you can go back in time, fix a mistake, and still make the same mistake again. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. But conspiracy theory, I'm not going to start it again. I don't
cheer for anybody else, but even with the other game this weekend where, it is Chelsea, and I don't feel bad about anything. But
yeah, right.
That was a clear handball.
Of course it is. It's a PK. I just want them to get it right.
How do you miss that if you don't have something on this game?
It's crazy. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. I don't understand it, but it's done. Like Mikel Arteta said, it's done. There's nothing we can do about it. We move on, and we're gonna move on to. This has to be the biggest game Arsenal's played in, I don't know, 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
No, this is the biggest game ever. This is the biggest game ever at the Emirates. I can't.
Okay. At the Emirates, yes, at the Emirates. Because it was the last
been none bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
definitely.
If you've been living under a rock, EPL fans, Arsenal fans, City fans, whoever, we have a heavyweight tilt coming tomorrow, and that's today when you're seeing it, or tonight if you're watching. Manchester City versus Arsenal at the Emirates. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this. There's Champions League games going on tomorrow, but I think most of the country will be watching the Arsenal Man City game.
Champions League's on, but we still got game of the day.
Of course, we have game of the day. For sure we do.
True.
And I know we spoke about it in the last episode about what we would like to see in our lineups, but that was coming off of the Brentford loss. Now we're a little bit over that. We're 24 less than actually what time are we? We're less than 24 hours away from, like we said, the biggest game in Arsenal history in the last 2-3 years for sure. Do we see anything that would change your mind from what you predicted on Saturday?
In terms of the lineup? In terms of the lineup, no, I haven't seen anything that would change what I want.
You're still starting Tomiyasu.
I'm still starting Tomiyasu, and I'm still starting Trossard, and that's not necessarily for Martinelli. So that probably more depends on what's happening in training this week, tactics, etc.
Imagine you see Trossard starting up the middle. Imagine that.
Oh, that's totally possible. Totally possible. 100% possible. And I mean, I think he's got good instincts to be a striker. I just think maybe he's a little bit small, a little diminutive to play it, but he's got all the instincts in the box, that's for sure, and he's extremely accurate when he strikes the ball.
I mean, he causes ruckus too, man. Like that's the key, and that's what Jesus used to do, and that's what I think. I think that's what we're seeing. Sorry, let me put this in a different way. I think that's what's wrong with Martinelli is the fact that that disruptor that he played beside for how many months really made him look good, and with him out, he hasn't been the same.
Well, I got to disagree there because Martinelli was the first disruptor. He was the disruptor before we had a disruptor. You know what I mean? He doesn't stop. He's 100 miles an hour. Yeah. What he's missing is an overlapping left back, somebody that's gonna, we've been saying this. It's missing on both sides. You know what I mean? Maybe Tomiyasu doesn't do it as much. Then Bukayo Saka doesn't use his as much, but Martinelli needs it. It's become pretty apparent. So I think that.
Well, I mean, I think it was I think Jesus is what's making the difference with his game. But here's the thing, though, like Arteta, maybe he should consider Tierney. Like, why hasn't Tierney seen the pitch? Like, why are we so fixated on Zinchenko when Tierney's on the bench there?
The first thing that I'll say about that is, well, the story last year was, why are Martinelli and Tierney on two entirely different chapters of two entirely different books?
Last year, though. Yes.
No, last year. They are not a natural fit, is what I will say. And it was evident when Martinelli was out of the lineup, and everyone was wondering, oh, why isn't Martinelli playing while Tierney's playing up there? I feel like that was a lot of the reasoning, because they didn't have an ease of communication or relationship. Martinelli would want him to come inside and he'd cross over, or the opposite would happen. Or Martinelli wouldn't release the ball in time, or Tierney wouldn't release the ball in time. They weren't a good combination on that side, and I think that the manager has faced questions over not playing one player or the other when he was trying to accommodate one or the other in the past.
Fair.
And I think Zinchenko, unfortunately, for what he adds to Arsenal when he slips into the midfield and he acts like an extra midfielder, kind of playing behind Partey and Xhaka, like a sweeper midfielder in there, or even trying to get forward and linking up with either Trossard or Nketiah or whoever. I think that leaves Martinelli by himself. So when you have a defender like Kieran Tierney who can't, I don't think Mikel Arteta trusts him to play that free roaming. You're starting at left back, but you're going to pop up in the right back corner at the corner flag. I don't think he trusts Tierney to play that position, but I also think it hampers Martinelli because no one's overlapping. And Thomas Frank said it this week. He said, when I'm preparing to play Arsenal, double the wingers. And you make it very easy to double the wingers if there's no overlaps.
Right.
And I don't think Tomiyasu and Tierney add that to the game.
I mean, I feel like if directed to, it's not maybe Tomiyasu's best way of playing necessarily, but I mean, he can make the runs. You know what I mean? At the very least, he can make the runs if directed to. We know that because he can bust his lungs to get back as well. We know that also. So whether he's a threat there or not, I think is a little bit irrelevant. Have him make the runs. You know what I mean? Like maybe if it's not the specialty, have him make the runs. What Tomiyasu's specialty is shutting down somebody on the left wing, whether that be Grealish or whoever they decide to put there. And I think that, that's the way that we need to be looking at this, sort of a proactive selection, before something like what happens against United with Rashford in the first half happened that, brings him off the bench. No, let's be proactive about it.
Okay. All right. So none of us are changing our opinions on who should start. Is this correct?
No. And
I was turned
start and that Trossard should start, and you believe what again, Nick?
No, I was with Edson from last week. I think I've been pushing that in every conversation I've had with anyone this week is that maybe Trossard should start in place of Nketiah. It kind of makes sense. I think you can actually interchange. I would actually put maybe Martinelli at the number 9, right down the center. Or if you want to keep him in his comfortable spot, then you put Trossard there. I think it's an easy insert. I'm more concerned about is what's happening at the back. Because this idea of like leaving Ben White out in place of Tomiyasu, or maybe what you should consider is Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White, and just run 3. But can you do that against a team like City? And then you can move Zinchenko up.
Well, you have to man mark Haaland. Anyway. I think you can't pass off Haaland. You have to man mark him. So I think that's Saliba's instruction tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if you can. I'm not sure if you can go 3, depending on how your midfield plays as well. Because if Kevin De Bruyne gets open and starts swinging balls in, as you can see from last Saturday, we have a problem with set pieces, especially corners.
Too. He's a fixture again. Like he's clearly repaired whatever was going on with him.
Oh, I think Pep was resting guys. Honestly,
you think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
That would be fair.
Why don't you play Kevin De Bruyne? I don't. That's crazy.
Right.
You have to be thinking about 2. He's probably thinking 2 games ahead already, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I wonder. Well, he did. He was, Arteta again. Like maybe you should look back in that the notes that he was taking.
Yeah, for sure.
He was there, and then say, should probably try this one.
So Eagle Eye Edson on Saturday or when did City play? Sunday. Saw Erling Haaland maybe limping.
Yeah, no, he pulled up in pot at his groin area. It looked like,
but he's training right now, though.
Came off at
training. He's not missing this game. Yeah, there's no way he is not.
Did he train? Did he train?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm positive I saw something on that today where they were like, no, he's back in training. Or maybe that could be a ruse. Maybe they're just saying that to, keep us thinking about it. But
if he's grabbing his groin or his whatever area 3 days ago, I don't think he's going to be 100%. I'm not. I want him to be 100%. I don't want any excuses. I don't want any excuses when they lose. Because I think we all have our predictions that we're going to give right now, and I don't see. For the first time, I think we're probably all on the same page here. It's been a long time since we can go into the biggest game of our season and be confident that we're gonna come out on top. But I think we're all on the same page when we give our predictions. So let's get to our predictions now. We'll start with the guy to the left, Edson. You can start. What do you have for me?
So I'm gonna go with 4-0. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, you almost got me again, man.
Well, I was close to, you know. I was about to get to. I was like, wait, what?
I heard 4, and I'm like, oh.
No, but I am gonna go with I don't want to say resounding, but convincing Arsenal victory. Maybe a 3-1. I want to stick with a margin here. I want to stick with a margin here. Okay, we always play well against them anyways, whether we win or lose. There's always some kind of foolishness that goes on, and I think that, to be honest with you, after last week and after us getting screwed out of those points, or at the very least out of them having scored a goal, because I think it's disrespectful to say, oh, we would have been guaranteed to get those points. Brentford was going on away. So I'll give them that much respect and say that if we managed to have completed that game, those points that we would have gotten, having had those stolen from us, I think is going to be a rallying point for our season. I think it's something that's, once again, uniting the players, the club, the fans. And I think that because of that, and also the fact that it's on a Wednesday, on a Wednesday night, that you're going to hear the Emirates the loudest that it's ever been, the most supportive.
It's going to be a Champions League atmosphere there for sure.
I think that you're going to hear it and feel it through the TV. It's going to be like Goosebump City for us watching at home. And I think that all that force and everything coming together is going to be too much for anybody. You know what I mean? I think that we're going to look like the best team in the world tomorrow.
I think it's a Champions League night, and I think it's going to be close to the atmosphere you get on a Champions League. A nice Wednesday night tilt against one of the best teams in the world.
Bigger even.
Reported cheaters, but until it's proven and dealt with, they're still one of the best teams in the world, no matter how they got there. What do you, Nick? What do you see happening tomorrow? So Edson says 3-1 Arsenal.
So Edson says 3-1. This is what I think the team has been waiting for. I mean, I think they've clearly been thinking about this particular fixture for the past 2 weeks. Obviously, you look at the standing, you see Everton, and you're like, oh, shoot, man, we got to get through this. It happened to be at Goodison, which I think they just they look past it. And then Brighton, I'll still say it now. I said it last week. I didn't think they deserved to win. I didn't think they played well enough to. I think Brentford. Clearly they had more chances. They played better. I think we were way too generous with our ratings with some of these guys. When I thought back about it, I was like, well, I probably wouldn't have given a 7 to any. Like, I would probably maximum 7 to anyone. Especially when I looked at the game again. But yeah, this is that game where I think they're gonna sort of come together once again as a team. They know what the responsibility is. But I don't see I see a resounding victory, but that resounding victory does not sound like 3-1 to me. It sounds like a 1-0 dominant, possession-based, just thrashing of this team, man. I think that, but they're not. I don't see it going more than 1-0. I really don't.
I don't know if you're going to get a dominant possession-based game tomorrow. I think it's going to be more. It's going to be closer to 50-50. 60-40, one of those. They're going to have a lot of the ball at certain points of the game, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
Well, didn't you think, hold on, I hear what you're saying, but if you look back at that FA Cup game, there were points in that game where I felt like Arsenal was clearly the more dominant team. And it felt like that.
There was points in that game. There was points in that game, too, where Man City had the ball for a bit.
When leading up to their goal. But I mean, when it woke Arsenal up, they were going. They were coming at them. I think these young boys, they know what the task is. I think you're going to see an impressive performance, and I just don't see it being more than like a 1-0. Really, if I don't want to claim victory, I don't see Arsenal losing tomorrow. I would say 1-0 or 1-1, but 1-0 obviously is what my heart is telling me.
I'll take a draw, no problem.
Yeah.
But I like what you said about Everton and Brentford. Like, if Arsenal were looking past those two games, well, this is the game that you were looking past those two to play.
This is the one.
So you better be prepared. I hope you're not looking forward to playing Aston Villa on Saturday. So, I mean, this should be it.
I get it. The boss he's been pretty consistent. He's like one game at a time. But again, there's the boss saying that, and there's the human element of this. And there's no way that these guys aren't saying, we're looking down at these guys. Come on. That's the game. I'm circling that one. What do they got to circle when it comes to Everton? Like, what do they got to circle? It's like, all right, that's a fixture. We got to play that. But it's this game that was supposed to be back in September. God rest her soul. You're right. But it was this game that they've been circling. Yep. I think if Arteta just says it for the honor, but I'm sure that's the game he's been circling as well. You know?
Well, I know I'm pretty sure it has been. I'm pretty sure the term, if you play like this against City, you'll get slaughtered, has been said a million times in the dressing room or even at halftime or whenever.
We saw it on All or Nothing, right?
Like, of course. They said if you play like this against Liverpool, we're gonna get killed. And sure enough, I'll give you my prediction. I guess I'm in between the both of you. I have a 2-1 to Arsenal. I just think the atmosphere, the level of preparedness of the team will be a little too much for Pep and the boys. And it sounds crazy to say, because if you listen to every other pundit out there right now, they'll tell you that they're giving the edge to Man City just based off the past two performances from Arsenal. So I'm going to give you a 2-1. I'm not going to give you scores. I think Arsenal plays well. There's going to be, like I said, at points, there's going to be times where it's going to be, cover your eyes and hope for the best. But I think Arsenal will pull through in the end.
Yeah, these pundits like to live in the moment, and that's how it goes, right? But
can't really listen to Rio Ferdinand and Gary Neville and those guys. And
exactly,
if Arsenal wins, watch the love. That's all I gotta say.
You're right.
That's all I gotta say.
That's the truth. Yeah.
So we've previewed that game. We previewed City game. We're not gonna preview Villa yet. I don't think. Let's let this one marinate and let's get this one done. Hopefully tomorrow night when we tomorrow night when we come back on for the reaction show, we're talking about an Arsenal win and we'll be 6 points clear. Should be 8, but again, Lee Mason, thank you very much. Christmas card is in the mail. Does anybody have anything else to add before we get out of here? Really quick one tonight, 30 minutes. Anyone have anything to add before we get out of here? I mean, I just can't wait for this game to start. I really can't.
Come on, you
you got 2 goals through the predicted scores.
Oh, the scores.
Well, it's not going to be Nketiah for me. So I think he should start Trossard up the middle. But anyways, if you were looking for goals, I've got Thomas Partey and I've got Trossard.
I like it. Partey and Trossard.
Trossard. What about you?
I'm gonna go with the star boy, man. Straight up.
Saka?
Of course, star boy. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Both? Or you only had 1-0, right?
1-0.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. I think that he breaks it. So it's 1-0 for me. Saka scores that.
Okay.
I've got 3 goals.
Oh, so he's gonna give a hat trick to Eddie. You're gonna give a hat trick to Eddie?
No hat trick to Eddie, but Eddie nicks one though. Eddie nicks one because that's Eddie Fox in the box is one, I believe. I like where you're at with the Partey thing. I'm gonna go Trossard, and then another midfielder, our left center wing back midfielder Zinchenko.
If that happens,
One against his old club. That's what
if that happens,
you need to put some money down, bro. Like honestly,
you gotta let you listen. It's all about stories. You know what I mean? Like I think that'd be a hell of a story. And who'll be slapping who in the head afterwards? I wonder. After that, so
that would be nice to see. That would be a great story to see.
One of your predictions have got to hit at some point. You know this.
Well, no, I think a lot of predictions, so let's hope not. I say all kinds of things, so who knows? Let the story play out however it's supposed to.
I like that Zinchenko call though, and if Gabriel Jesus was playing, I would have picked him. But
1,000%.
I like that Zinchenko call though. I like that. So we predicted,
and if he scores, I mean, it'll be at our place, so he'll celebrate it.
You don't think he's going to do the hands up? Sorry.
At our place?
No. Who's starting? You think it's Walker?
I think he's going to be the villain. He's going to make the villain turn right there on the spot. He's not going to care.
He doesn't need City for anything. He's going to be an Arsenal player till he retires. So
exactly.
Who do you guys think starts on the so it would be on the left side who do you think starts on the left side for City?
Well, I don't think Walker started the last game, so I maybe Pep was saving him for this game. I'm not sure.
That's because
he's gonna have to face Martinelli, so I probably didn't want to run him into the ground for that.
Yeah, so it'll be Laporte, right? Like usually,
Laporte will be in the middle. I think with Ruben Diaz, Laporte, because Stones is hurt,
and Ake,
and Ake on the other side. Because he kind of locked down Saka the last time they played again.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why I feel like this revenge, man. Like it'll have to be Ake, man.
They'll play that Lewis kid at left wing back, and then probably I think Grealish has been who they've started the last couple games on the left, right? And then they go with Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland, and then
it'll probably be Grealish and Mahrez,
Riyad Mahrez.
Mahrez, Bernardo Silva. They have all those guys available to them, so
it'll be Grealish.
But I think depending on how many guys they put in the midfield, I think our midfield should be able to handle that. And now that Zinchenko's coming in there to lend them a hand, it might leave the left side exposed, which is going to be Gabriel's side. So, but like Edson says, I think Gabriel's playing well enough and understands what the assignment is well enough to be able to handle that. But again, we're going to have to see.
What I will say is when Trossard comes in, he doesn't seem to have any problems figuring out how to break it down from that left-hand side. So, or at least get something going. And I mean, and Martinelli's known for his pressing, so is Trossard. So I mean, it would be nice to see the both of them out there at the same time, which is what we were asking for the past couple of games, anyways. Right. Maybe Martinelli's not the first substitute. Maybe then we try him or Trossard up the middle and give it a shot. And I guess now we've got the element of surprise on our side if we do try something like that tomorrow. So,
I mean, are you guys now comfortable with saying that Eddie's lost this spot?
No. I don't think he's lost his spot, but again, Eddie's played every game, almost every minute. He's not firing right now. So maybe you start him on the bench. He's one of those guys that, if you don't start me, I'm gonna play my best when you put me in so that you don't take me out again, or that you start me the next game, or you can see what I can do. So I think he might need that little bit of a kick again. Because when we had our strikers and Gabriel Jesus was there and he was on the bench, he was just chomping at the bit to get his opportunity to show what he can do. And he did what he did. And now he's not undroppable. So let's see. And we haven't seen anything much from him recently. So let's see what he can do if he does come off the bench. Yeah. I mean, that could be a card that Mikel Arteta plays later on in the game. Who knows? But I hope something special or something different is coming, because you can't play the same way you played against Brentford. It was not good.
No.
Well, that they're going to send 5, right? They're going to send 4 midfielders and their and Haaland. So I think you have to be careful at the back. I still think you have to run 4 at the back. And
we talked about Saliba being able to play against Ivan Toney. And we said if he had played against him the first time they played Brentford, I think the last game would have been different. He's already played against Haaland already. He knows what it is. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get any joy tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the service that he's going to probably get from De Bruyne, and that's where your midfielder, and that's probably bringing Zinchenko into the middle to try to, manage that, right? Because
it was a good wake-up call. It was a good test. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Tony was a good test for him, right?
And De Bruyne didn't do much in the FA Cup game. I just points in the game. I didn't even know he was on the field. So maybe something's being done right there, where the service wasn't getting to Haaland. If he doesn't get service, he doesn't score. So who knows?
Well, Pep, he's always willing to make changes on the fly. That's what he does. Like, who knows who's starting really tomorrow, right? So.
There's nobody on the bench I'm really afraid of on their bench. I mean, we shut down the service, and that's it.
The only guy I actually really fear, and I know it's going to sound, it's not even Haaland. It's Gudigan.
Don't say Foden.
No, I said Icky.
Not Grealish.
Yeah, Gudigan. Is that how you say his name?
Gundogan?
Yeah, sometimes he just
whatever.
He's just so.
He's a boss, man. When his deal was up, I wanted him at every stage.
Right.
Every stage. I mean, the only knock against him was when he was a little bit injury prone for a while. Since then, he's been a monster and one of the most consistent midfielders in the Premier League.
100%, man. He's probably the only guy.
I rate him. You don't have to. I rate him.
He makes our midfield.
Dude. I rate him. Man, straight up.
He makes our midfield right now.
Yeah. At this minute, yes. I'm not saying every week. But he's not in front of Partey. Not in front of
Xhaka?
Yes.
In front of Xhaka.
Yes. He gets box to box, man. Rodri's the guy who sits.
How important do you think is the captain to this game?
Who?
Odegaard.
No, yeah. Who's the captain?
You didn't want to say his name.
Of course I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to finish me off here. I know who he is. I know who Odegaard is. All right, I know who he is.
Unfortunately, he's not his name. He's not Tony. He's not Tony.
I just want to know how you guys feel.
He's not Tony Adams. He has to have a big part in what we do. He holds a big part in what we do going forward creatively. If he's not on, we're gonna have issues.
Right.
So again, I don't know if the moment's gonna be too big for some of the players, because again, like we're sitting here saying this is the biggest game Arsenal's had in how long. They're gonna start feeling that. Do we have big time players to step up and take that on their shoulders?
We'll find out.
We'll see tomorrow, right? We'll see tomorrow. But if you're gonna ask if Odegaard has to be influential, 1,000% he does. 1,000% he has to be involved.
Yeah. All right.
So guys, I mean,
that's good.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for tomorrow. I can't wait. It's going to be a long day up until kickoff. But we've given our predictions, we've given our scores, we've given a little bit of tactical analysis that we would like to see as far as, lineup and personnel that's out there, who we think we're going to see from City side. I mean, it's all there, man. There's nothing else we can say. We can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but we've said everything that we need to say. So guys, we'll be back tomorrow with our reaction show from the Arsenal Man City match. I'm very confident we'll be talking about an Arsenal win. So are the other two boys here. So let's get it. So with that said, we'll see you tomorrow. And how do I end it? We'll see you tomorrow, and
come on, you Gunners.
Come on. Take care.